Title: Learn to walk away quietly. Before we begin, don't rush this moment. Just breathe, because something has been happening inside you, quietly, silently, without words. You've been feeling distant, not just from people, but from who you used to be. You find yourself staring into space longer than usual. You reply slower. You speak less. You feel more. You've been withdrawing not to isolate, but because your soul is tired in ways you don't know how to explain. People think you're fine because you still laugh, you still show up, you still function. But inside, you're carrying something heavy, something only you know. And no matter how many times you try to tell yourself, I'm okay, your heart whispers back, no, something is changing. And you don't know why. But listen, what you are feeling is not random, is not weakness, is not you breaking down. It is Allah rearranging your life from the inside first. He is removing your attachment to things that were quietly draining you. He is ending chapters you would have never walked away from on your own. He is pulling you away from people you once begged to stay for. Not to hurt you, but to prepare you. Because the version of you that is coming next cannot be born in the places where your soul was suffocating. Stay with me. Don't click off. Don't rush to understand it. Just let your heart hear this. You are not losing yourself. You are returning to yourself. You are not becoming cold. You are being redirected to warmth that actually lasts. You are not being abandoned. You are being protected. Allah is pulling you away so He can pull you closer. So in this hour, we're going to walk slowly, gently, no pressure, no forcing. Just you, your heart, your breath, and Allah. By the end of this video, you will understand why you were separated, why your heart had to break, why silence became louder than words, why your soul feels like it's in between. And what Allah is preparing for you now, your story is not ending. Your story is being rewritten. So just stay. Stay for you. Stay for your heart. Stay, because Allah is speaking to you in ways the world cannot hear. Your healing begins here. Your heart knows when a chapter is over. You can love a place. You can love a person. You can love a season of your life with all your heart and still feel Allah slowly loosening your grip from it. Not because love has ended, but because your soul has grown and that place can no longer contain the size of your heart. There are times you sit among people who once felt like home and suddenly you feel like a visitor. You listen to conversations that once made you laugh and now the laughter feels distant. The room is the same, the faces are the same, but your heart is not the same. It's a very quiet shift, a shift only the heart can hear. No one else will understand it. No one else will see it. Even you yourself may not have words for it. You just feel it. A gentle pulling, a subtler discomfort. Like your soul is whispering, there is something more for you. Not here, not now, not anymore. And you try to ignore it at first. You tell yourself, maybe I am overthinking. You try to push the feeling away. You try to stay. You try to force yourself to be the same again. But the peace is gone. The heart has spoken. And when the heart speaks, it is not random. It is guided. Because the heart of a believer does not shift without Allah guiding it. Sometimes Allah will close your heart to something you still want. Not to hurt you, but to protect you from being hurt later. It removes your comfort first. He makes your favorite places feel unfamiliar. He makes familiar faces feel distant. He allows silence to settle where laughter once lived. Not to take joy away, but to make space for a new kind of joy you have not met yet. One day you wake up and realize you are tired. Not physically tired, soul tired. Tired of over-explaining yourself. Tired of waiting to be understood. Tired of carrying conversations that used to flow on their own. Tired of giving your heart where it is no longer received. And that tiredness is not weakness. It is awakening. You begin to see what your heart refused to see before. You begin to feel where your spirit no longer belongs. And Allah, in His mercy, begins to show you truth quietly. No arguments, no chaos, no dramatic break. Just truth. Truth that you are not the same person you were before. Truth that your soul has already moved forward, even if your body hasn't caught up. Truth that growth has taken place so silently inside you, even you did not notice. And growth is not loud. Growth is not showy. Growth is gentle, quiet, deeply inward. You outgrew the version of you who kept trying to fix everything, who kept trying to explain your heart to people, committed to misunderstanding it, who kept trying to love in places that did not know how to hold love softly. You have been soft for so long. You have been giving for so long. You have been patient for so long. But now your soul is asking you to rest, to breathe, to step back, to walk away not in anger, but in peace. Because sometimes walking away is not abandonment. Sometimes walking away is returning to yourself. Your heart was not made to break every day. Your spirit was not made to beg for gentleness. Your worth was not meant to be proven like a performance on stage. You were made to be honored. You were made to be protected. You were made to be cherished. Allah did not place softness in you for it to be wasted on those who treat it like weakness. Allah did not give you a giving heart so that others could take advantage of it. Allah did not make your presence gentle so that others could become careless with you. There comes a moment, a quiet moment where your soul says, I can love you from afar. I can pray for you from a distance. But I cannot stay where I am dying slowly inside. And that moment is sacred. That moment is liberation. That moment is Allah saving you. Leaving is not the hard part. The hard part is not blaming yourself for leaving. Because you stayed for so long. You tried for so long. You forgave more times than anyone will ever know. You swallowed words that were heavy to carry. You cried in silence no one ever saw. And Allah saw all of it. Not a tear fell without Him knowing. Not a silent heartbreak passed without Him recording it. Not a single night of confusion was ignored by Him. He was there. He heard every whisper of your heart, even the ones you couldn't voice. And so He began guiding you gently, closing doors softly, shifting your heart slowly, until you reached this moment. The moment you realized it's time to walk away. Not angrily, not loudly, not to prove a point, not to be seen, but to protect the heart Allah gave you. This is not selfishness. This is self-respect. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. This is not giving up. This is Allah lifting you out before the break becomes too deep to heal. Your leaving does not mean you stopped caring. Your leaving means you started caring for yourself too. And caring for yourself is a form of worship, because your heart is an amana, a trust, a gift from Allah. And Allah does not want you to hand your heart to people who do not know how to hold it with mercy. Walking away quietly is not loss. It is returning to the peace Allah always wanted you to have. When Allah guides you to walk away, He does it gently. He does not slam the door. He does not send thunder and storms. It changes your feeling first. He lets your heart become quiet around certain people. He makes conversations shorter. He removes the excitement you used to feel. He allows your soul to detach before your body leaves. Because Allah is the most merciful, and even separation in His hands is tender. You may not notice it at first. You may think you are the same, but your du'as changed you. Your tears changed you. Your loneliness changed you. Your prayers at night changed you. You asked Allah for peace, and He responded by removing anything that disturbed it. And sometimes peace doesn't arrive like light. Sometimes peace begins with absence. The absence of noise, the absence of chaos, the absence of forcing, the absence of holding on to what was already gone in the heart. Peace can feel like emptiness in the beginning. Do not be afraid of that feeling. That emptiness is Allah cleaning space within you. He's preparing room for what is coming. He is preparing your heart for something pure, something steady, something that does not shake you to your core every day. You are not being abandoned. You are being realigned. And realignment always feels unfamiliar at first because your soul is stepping into a level of peace it has never known before. Take a moment and look at your journey. How many times did your heart almost break completely? How many times did Allah pull you back right before the drop? How many times did you think you couldn't survive something, and yet here you are still standing? You are not weak. You are chosen. You are not empty. You are being prepared. You are not lost. You are being redirected. You are not unloved. You are being loved in a way that is higher, deeper, gentler than the love you were chasing. Allah loves you in ways people never could. Not because they did not care, but because they are human, and human love is limited. Allah's love is limitless. When He takes something away, something beautiful is about to replace it. He never subtracts without preparing to multiply. You may not see it yet. You may not feel it yet. But there will come a day when you look back and say, Abdeen, Ya Allah, you did not take anything from me. You saved me. Saved you from loving someone more than they loved you. Saved you from draining yourself to keep someone close. Saved you from living small to make others comfortable. Saved you from breaking your own heart to protect others from theirs. He saw what you could not see. He saw the conversations behind your back. He saw the insincerity hidden under smiles. He saw the intentions that were never spoken. He saw the wounds that would have crushed you later. And so He stepped in. He did not wait for the pain to destroy you. He intervened when your heart still had softness left to save. That softness is precious. Your gentleness is precious. Your sincerity is precious. Allah does not let those qualities go to waste. So when you walk away quietly, without noise, without revenge, without bitterness, you are not losing. You are winning. You are winning peace. You are winning clarity. You are winning your soul back. The world will not understand. People may say you changed. Yes, you did. And that change was written. That change was necessary. That change was sacred. Growth is not meant to be understood by everyone. It is between you and Allah. You are not made to stay where your heart cannot breathe. You are not made to beg for love that should have been given freely. You are not made to chase people who are running from themselves. You are made for something deeper, something calmer, something purer, something that does not require you to break your own heart to belong. Your walking away is not the ending of love. It is the beginning of healing. This pain you feel now will become the strength you walk with later. The silence you sit with now will become the wisdom you speak with later. This loneliness you feel now will become the intimacy you have with Allah later. Nothing is being taken from you. Everything is being rebuilt inside you. Slowly, quietly, beautifully. So breathe, rest your heart. Let Allah hold the parts of you that are tired. You are not falling apart. You are being rearranged. You are returning to the version of you that Allah always intended. The version that feels safe inside your own heart. And when Allah finishes rebuilding you, you will look back at what you walked away from and you will whisper, I didn't lose anything. Allah removed what was blocking my peace. When respect fades, staying breaks you. There comes a moment when you realize that the thing that hurts you the most is not the arguments, not the disagreements, not the misunderstandings. It is the slow disappearance of respect. The little things that once made you feel seen start to disappear. The tone changes, the softness fades. The concern becomes shallow. The warmth becomes distant. It's not always loud. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes the ending begins in silence. You start noticing how your words don't carry weight anymore. How your feelings are brushed aside like they're too much. How your presence is treated like it is expected, not appreciated. And your heart, the one that always forgives, always tries, always understands, starts to feel tired. Not tired of loving, but tired of loving alone. Because real love cannot survive where respect has died. Love may still feel present, but love cannot breathe without respect protecting it. You can say, I love you 1,000 times. You can stay in the same room. You can share the same meals. You can live side by side. But if respect is gone, the soul slowly suffocates. It is like a flower planted in sand. You can water it, speak to it, love it, but without soil, it cannot grow. Respect is the soil of love. When someone sees your silence as weakness, when your patience becomes something they abuse, when your kindness becomes something they use, when your heart becomes something they handle carelessly, that is when your soul begins to whisper, this is not love anymore. This is survival. And survival is not the purpose of your heart. Your heart was created to feel safe, to feel valued, to feel held gently. Do you remember the first time their words hurt you and you said nothing? Do you remember the first time you cried quietly so they wouldn't hear? Do you remember the first time you told yourself, it's okay, maybe I'm overreacting? Your heart remembers, and every time you stayed silent to keep peace, a piece of you broke. Not all at once, but slowly, like paper tearing fiber by fiber. You told yourself, I can handle it. I can fix it. They don't mean it. It's not that bad. Until one day, silence felt heavier than words. And pretending felt more painful than truth. You started losing yourself. You stopped laughing the way you used to. You stopped speaking with the same light. You started thinking before you expressed yourself. Not because you were careful, but because you were afraid your heart would be mishandled again. And Allah does not want fear to be the foundation of your relationships. Allah did not create your heart to be stepped on gently, slowly, repeatedly. Allah did not design you to shrink so others could feel taller. Allah did not place love in your chest so you could fight every day to prove you deserve it. If you have to beg to be seen, that is not love. If you have to explain your worth, that is not love. If your tears are ignored while your silence is convenient, that is not love. When respect fades, staying becomes self-punishment. Your heart knows when it is no longer safe. Not safe, physically safe, emotionally. Safe to speak, safe to feel, safe to just be. Love is supposed to feel like home, not like a battlefield where you stand unarmed every day. And sometimes the most painful part is that you still care. You still love. You still see the good in them. You still remember who they were before things changed. But love cannot survive where your dignity is dying. You can forgive mistakes. You can rebuild trust. You can heal together. But you cannot heal where you are not respected. You cannot water a plant if the soil rejects the roots. So when you feel your heart growing smaller in someone's presence, when your voice goes quiet because you fear being misunderstood, when your tenderness feels like a burden instead of a blessing, that is Allah whispering, my beloved servant, you deserve gentleness and I will lead you to it. Leaving is not about hate. It is about self-preservation, the preservation of the softness Allah placed inside you. Your softness is not weakness. Your heart is not too much. Your emotions are not burdens. They are signs of your ability to love deeply. They are signs of your soul's purity. They are the most beautiful parts of you. And Allah does not want to see you lose them. So when respect fades and your heart starts folding into itself to survive, walking away is sometimes the only way to stay alive inside. Not to punish them, not to prove a point, not to be dramatic, but to save your soul. You can forgive and still walk away. You can care and still release. You can love and still leave, because leaving is not always abandoning. Sometimes leaving is returning to Allah, returning to the one who holds your heart gently the way no human ever could. You don't need to prove why you're leaving. There comes a time when your heart reaches a quiet understanding. Not everyone will understand your pain, and not everyone is meant to. For so long you tried to explain yourself. You tried to express what you felt. You tried to show the heaviness inside your chest. You tried to make someone see the hurt in your silence. But no matter what you said, it felt like your words were falling into a place with no echo, no response, no real understanding. And that is one of the loneliest experiences in the world. To be present, to be sincere, to be honest, and still feel invisible. Not physically invisible, but emotionally unseen. You tried to hold on. You tried to fix what was breaking. You tried to swallow your pain to keep the peace. You made excuses for their distance, for their tone, for their neglect. You kept telling yourself, maybe they didn't mean it, maybe they're just stressed. Maybe things will get better. But your heart knew. Your heart always knows. There is a certain kind of exhaustion that does not come from doing too much. It comes from caring alone. And when your heart reaches that point, there are no words left to explain. Your silence is not because you have no explanation. Your silence is because you have already explained too many times. Your tears have already spoken. Your tired tone already said the truth. Your quiet behavior already mirrored your feelings, but they didn't see, they didn't hear. Not because your voice was small, but because they were not prepared to hold your heart. And Allah sees that. Allah knows how many times you tried, how many times you forgave, how many times you stood in front of the mirror trying to convince yourself, maybe I'm asking for too much, maybe I'm being dramatic, maybe I should just stay quiet. But your heart was never asking for something unreasonable. You were asking to be understood, to be acknowledged, to be valued, to be handled gently. That is not too much. That is the minimum love deserves. And so Allah placed a quiet strength inside you. The strength to step back, the strength to leave the conversation unfinished, the strength to walk away without proving your pain to anyone, because your truth does not need to be defended. Your sincerity does not need validation. Your heart does not need an audience to justify why it is breaking. You are allowed to leave without explaining yourself. You are allowed to protect your heart without asking for permission. You are allowed to say, this hurts me, and walk away, even if no one understands why. You do not owe anyone a speech. You do not owe anyone your pain in words. You do not owe anyone the details of your breaking. Allah knows what happened. Allah saw the moments no one else did. Allah heard the conversations you replayed in your mind for nights. Allah counted every tear that never fell. And when Allah knows, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Leaving silently is not running away. It is choosing peace over chaos. It is choosing dignity over explanation. It is choosing healing over performing strength. Some people will say you changed. Let them. Some people will say you walked away too easily. Let them. Some people will create stories about you to make themselves feel better. Let them. Your silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. Because the heart that leaves without announcing itself is a heart that has learned, I do not need to break myself to make someone see my breaking. And when you walk away with peace, Allah walks with you, not loudly, not publicly, but deeply, tenderly, completely. He replaces the noise inside you with calm. He replaces the confusion with clarity. He replaces the ache with a soft, steady, gentle kind of peace. The kind of peace that whispers, you didn't lose. You protected what Allah gave you. You do not need to prove to anyone why you chose peace over chaos. You do not need to justify why you stopped trying. You do not need to convince anyone that your heart was tired, because the truth is simple. Your heart has been fighting battles that nobody saw. People see actions. Allah sees reasons. People see silence. Allah sees exhaustion. People see distance. Allah sees pain. People see the moment you walked away. Allah sees the 1,000 moments you stayed when you were breaking. And that is why you do not have to defend your departure. You do not have to argue. You do not have to debate. You do not have to explain. The moment you try to explain your pain to someone who is not ready to understand it, your pain becomes heavier, not lighter. Everything you tried to express, every moment you tried to be honest, every attempt you made to be transparent was a door you knocked on. And the door didn't open, not because your voice was soft, not because your words were unclear, but because the heart on the other side did not want to listen, and Allah saw that too. So He removed the need for explanation from your soul. He replaced it with quiet acceptance. The acceptance that some closures do not happen in conversation. Some closures happen in the heart, silently. You start to understand, I do not need them to understand me. Allah understands me. And that realization feels like peace after a long storm. Because when you stop trying to be understood by the wrong people, your heart finally starts returning to the one who understood you before you spoke, to the one who knew your pain without your words, to the one who guided your tears before they fell, to the one who never needed explanations to love you right. And in that return, your heart heals. Not all at once, not suddenly, but slowly. Like dawn after a long night, your breath becomes softer. Your thoughts become clearer. Your chest stops aching every morning. Your nights stop feeling like battles you have to survive. The heart begins to trust again, not in people, but in Allah and in yourself. You learn that love should not feel like you are losing yourself. You learn that compassion should not require you to erase your own needs. You learn that connection should not feel like constant tension in your chest. And you learn that silence is not the absence of love. Silence can be the presence of self-respect. There will be moments when you remember the good parts. Moments where your heart feels weak. Moments where memories knock gently on your mind. Be gentle with yourself. Remembrance does not mean regret. Missing does not mean returning. Love does not mean staying. You can love someone deeply and still choose yourself. You can care sincerely and still walk away. Because love is not proven by how much pain you can endure. Love is proven by how much peace you are willing to protect. One day you will look back and realize, I didn't leave because I stopped loving. I left because I finally started loving myself too. And that is the moment your heart becomes free. Free from explaining, free from performing strength, free from proving your pain, free from defending your truth, free to heal, free to breathe, free to return to Allah with a heart still soft. Because the one who walks away with a clean heart never loses. Allah writes something more beautiful in place of what you left. Not immediately, not suddenly, but in the most perfect timing. A timing that will make you say, every tear was worth it. Every silence had meaning. Every departure had purpose. Allah protected me even when I didn't understand. Distance can be mercy, not punishment. Sometimes Allah distances you before the break becomes so deep that healing would take years. Sometimes Allah separates you before your heart becomes too attached to something that cannot accompany your soul toward Him. Sometimes Allah says no more in a place where you were begging to stay. And it hurts. It hurts in ways words cannot explain. Because your heart remembers the good moments. Your heart remembers the laughter, the softness, the warmth. Your heart remembers the beginning, the sweetness, the sincerity. And so distance feels like loss. It feels like something precious was taken. It feels like punishment. But it is not punishment. It is mercy in a form the heart struggles to recognize at first. Because we often think mercy is only what feels gentle. But sometimes mercy is what protects you even when it hurts. When Allah separates you from someone, He is not just removing a person from your life. He is removing a future that would have broken you in ways you cannot yet see. Allah saw conversations you didn't hear. Allah saw intentions that were never spoken. Allah saw the weight your heart would not have survived. You saw the moment. Allah saw the lifetime. And so He steps in silently, softly, without thunder, without loud warnings. He just allows distance to grow. The calls become shorter. The conversations feel different. The presence becomes lighter. The heart becomes quieter. And you feel it. You feel the shift before anything is said. You feel the chapter ending even while the pages are still turning. Your soul always knows when Allah is leading it away. And in this moment your heart asks, but why Allah? Why now? Why like this? Why when I finally opened my heart? And the answer is tender. Because you opened your heart and I am protecting what is inside it. Your heart is not something small. It is not something cheap. It is not something replaceable. Your heart is an amana, a trust from Allah. And Allah never wants your heart in a place where it slowly forgets Him. Distance is sometimes Allah's way of saying, you are growing. They are not growing with you. And I love you too much to let you shrink. Not everyone is meant to walk the entire journey with you. Some people were meant for one chapter, not the whole book. Their role in your life was real, meaningful and sincere. But that does not mean it was meant to be forever. There is wisdom in temporary connections. There is beauty in souls that meet for a short time but change each other permanently. And the end of something beautiful does not erase the beauty that once existed. But your heart cannot stay where it can no longer breathe. Your spirit cannot remain where it is no longer nourished. Your soul cannot stay in a place where growth has stopped. So Allah makes distance, not to break you, but to save you. Because if you stayed, you would start losing pieces of yourself. You would start silencing your heart to maintain peace. You would start sacrificing your inner voice to avoid conflict. You would start shrinking. And Allah did not create you to shrink. He created you to rise. Growth is not always loud. Growth is sometimes walking away quietly. Growth is sometimes letting the memory remain pure instead of forcing a new chapter that becomes painful. You can love someone deeply and still release them gently. Not all love is meant to stay. Some love is meant to shape you and then leave space for the next part of your journey. Some people are not lessons of pain. They are lessons of growth, lessons of awakening, lessons of reflection. But Allah knows what the heart cannot yet understand. If they stayed longer, your attachment would grow faster than your wisdom. Your emotions would start leading your path instead of your soul. And love without spiritual guidance becomes a weight instead of wings. So Allah cuts the string before you tie yourself in knots. You can't untangle. And yes, it hurts now. But one day, this distance will feel like mercy. One day, you will look back and say, Allah, if you had not removed me, I would have lost myself. One day, you will look at the healed version of your heart and whisper, Ya Allah, you were protecting me the entire time. One day, you will understand the distance was the cure, not the wound. Sometimes Allah removes a person from your life so quietly, so gradually, that you don't even realize the separation has already begun. Days pass, and suddenly you notice that the heart is no longer reaching the way it used to. You no longer check your phone the same way. You no longer wait for the same message. You no longer rehearse conversations in your mind, and you begin to wonder, did I stop loving or did I simply stop hurting? The truth is, your love didn't disappear. Your love matured. Your heart learned to love without clinging, to care without losing itself, to remember without reopening wounds. This is what distance does when Allah controls it. It does not take love away. It purifies it. Distance teaches your heart how to breathe again. It teaches your mind how to rest. It teaches your soul how to return to Allah as your first place of comfort. Because sometimes you were leaning on someone so heavily that you forgot that your real support was Allah. You made a human being your source of peace. And Allah, in His mercy, reminded you gently, the one who created peace is the only one who can give you peace. So He removed your reliance, not your love, just your reliance. He separated you not to break your heart, but to realign your heart with Him again. And in that separation, you may have felt emptiness, a silence that felt loud, a quiet that felt heavy. You may have thought you were alone, but you were never alone. Allah was there. In the quiet nights when you couldn't sleep, in the tired days when your chest felt heavy, in the moments where no one knew how much you were holding in, He was there, placing warmth where the world grew cold. He was there, steadying your heart when your emotions were trembling. He was there, collecting your tears before they could fall. You see, distance is only painful when we think we are losing something. But when you understand that Allah is the one orchestrating the distance, you realize you are not losing, you are being protected, you are being guided,